guys, hello fellow mutants, welcome to another video, and today we're going to talk about how Spider-Man is no longer going to be a part of the MCU anymore. So if you guys didn't know, even though Spider-Man is a Marvel-based character, the rights to Spider-Man is owned by Sony, and the reason why Spider-Man is owned by Sony is apparently because Marvel Studios, or Marvel Comics, whatever, had this financial problem at one point where it nearly went bankrupt, I believe. So it had to sell the X-Men and Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. And so Spider-Man was owned by Sony. It's owned by Sony. And it took Sony and Kevin Feige to work together to negotiate to be able to have the Tom Holland version Spider-Man to be in the MCU. We first got Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War. Next time we saw Spider-Man was in Homecoming, then in Infinity War, Endgame, then Far From Home, which I enjoyed every single movie we got to see Tom Holland Spider-Man in. I think Tom Holland was amazing Spider-Man. And then I watched a video from two of my favorite YouTube channels to get my movie news from, like Random 42 and Geeks and Gamers, which I highly recommend you guys watching those two, subscribing to those channels. And they were saying about how now Spider-Man isn't a part of the MCU anymore because Sony and Marvel can't negotiate a deal. Can't agree on terms to have Spider-Man stay in the MCU, so. And I think Spider-Man was going to be in Phase 5. But, no more. And yeah, this Spider-Man suit. This Spider-Man suit is perfect for this video with the topics. Sorry. Apparently, from what I've heard, they're going to try to make a Spidey first with Tom Holland. So if that's the case, then you can kind of get away of saying that they teased that in Far From Home with them talk about different dimensions. Maybe we'll get to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield reprise their roles as Spider-Man in the next Spider-Man movie, because apparently Tom Holland and a lot of the people that were involved in Homecoming and Far Away From Home are going to still be involved in, I think, 2 more Spider-Man movies, Tom Holland being one of them. And to be honest, I'm hoping this will change, because I'm hoping Marvel will be able to strike a deal with Sony to let Marvel in the MCU, at least for one more movie. That's all I'm asking, is at least one more movie. Having at least one more standalone Spider-Man movie to be connected to the MCU. At the very least, I don't know. But, because I like this Spider-Man, and I think Spider-Man complemented the MCU very well. And like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers said, they kind of have been setting it up where Spider-Man could have potentially been the head of the MCU. And what do we have now to have run the MCU in terms of the heroes? I almost said Captain Phasma, the Star Wars character. Captain Marvel? I don't want this person, Captain Marvel, to be the leader of the MCU. I don't want her to be the new leader of the Avengers. I want Spider-Man, Peter Parker, to be the leader of the new Avengers. Because you can say, well, Captain America was the leader, and he might have been on the field, but he was more like the co-leader of the Avengers. I felt like Tony was like the other half of the leadership of S.H.I.E.L.D. of the Avengers. Even of the OG Avengers, I feel like Captain America, Iron Man were the 2 leaders. And the entire movie for Spider-Man Far Away From Home has been whether or not Peter Parker will be the next Iron Man or become his own thing. So that means they're going to not, most likely won't have Happy in there. Which, to be honest, in my opinion, he was one of the best parts of Far Away From Home. And, I mean, at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, they did kind of show that, yeah, Spider-Man, Peter Parker might bring some elements of Iron Man into his crime fighting, but he as a superhero will try to go into more of his own way than trying to be like Tony Stark. Does that mean that we won't be able to see, like, hear any more Marvel references to, like, MCU references? I mean, it'd be nice to have a live action Into the Spider-Verse but to be honest, I'm sad that Spider-Man won't be in the MCU. I mean, yeah, the MCU was pretty decent, like before Spider-Man came in, and yeah, and I think Spider-Man made it even better. It gave us one of the best on-screen relationships ever in terms of like mentorship, because in Civil War we got kind of like a little hint of Tony Stark mentoring Peter, and then obviously in Homecoming we saw more of that, of Iron Man mentoring Spider-Man, and then in Infinity War, you kind of got a bit more of that up until Spider-Man disappeared, and then I liked what they did with Peter and Tony's relationship with the little screen time they both had with each other in Endgame, and how he dealt with Iron Man's death and pretty much discovering who he is as a hero without Iron Man. That was even better, in my opinion, in Far Away From Home. So, I mean, I'm not saying that the third Spider-Man movie in the Tom Holland set will be bad. I'm just saying that I feel like it would be better if they kept, if hypothetically, if they kept Spider-Man in the MCU. That way they can play off the MCU a bit more, like they've been doing the past two Spider-Man movies we got. And maybe in like Avengers 5, have it where Spider-Man gets knocked into his own dimension. Like, the main characters of the Tom Holland Spider-Man gets knocked into their own dimension towards the end, but they have to pull it off to the point where us fans can accept it. And maybe that would be a way to have Spider-Man kind of officially leave the MCU, or could have him, Peter Parker, get killed off, but I don't want that. Since we just had Tony Stark die off, don't want that. But, I don't know. I'm excited that we get to see another Tom Holland Spider-Man, but bummed out that we won't be able to get to see him interact with any other MCU characters. And I'm bummed that now we can't really explore that possibility that Peter could be like the new Peter Parker being the new head of the MCU. I'm kind of sad about that. Especially since I don't really like Brie Larson as a character, and she was Captain Marvel, as an actor, and Captain Marvel didn't really do much in Endgame, and she didn't really do much for me in her own movie, which is sad. Like, in terms of, what do you mean over? And that's sad. So, am I... And to be honest, I'd rather see Tom Holland being the new face of the Avengers. Like, at least of the MCU. The new face for the MCU. For at least one phase. At the very least. And then maybe after that, given that we will have more time, maybe if they play their cards right, having Captain Marvel being the new head in Phase 5. Guess we're in, I guess now we're in Phase 4. I don't know. But best of both worlds. Have Marvel chance of winning us over for Captain Marvel, but I'm just mad because I'm kind of mad about this whole situation. But I do understand that it's a whole deal thing. Sometimes two companies can't see eye to eye on stuff, but I don't know. But if you want more information about the whole deal that went down and stuff like that, I recommend watching Mega Random 42 or Geeks and Gamers videos that they've done on this matter, because they go a bit more into depth than I am. So, what do you guys think about the whole situation of this? Of Spider-Man no longer being part of the MCU? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comment section below. And I am hoping to God that Marvel and Sony will be able to make some sort of deal that they will allow Spider-Man to be in the MCU longer, or just permanently buy Spider-Man off so that he can still be in a part of the MCU and stuff. Anyways, what do you guys think about the whole situation? Leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys later.